Y254. Imagine.
Welcome back. This is Y254 News. It is Business Tuesday. Today we're talking about matters business. We are talking about SMEs, that is the small and medium scale enterprises. We are asking the question tonight that do you think small and medium sized enterprises could help resolve the mass unemployment among the youth? Today I'm joined by Lucy and a very, very, very wonderful guest next to her, that is John Maruta. Welcome to Y254. On to our discussion quickly, because our time is not on our side. We are talking about SMEs, and we have the issue of them having problems with getting finances. If the government will get into financing them, do you think that it would help these kind of businesses to crop up and reduce unemployment? If I will start with you, Lucy.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. When you say that the government supports the SMEs, first I'd like to say that most of the youth businesses, they're in the category we call MSEs, micro small enterprises. And yes, if government puts effort to support them, they're going to grow. And I'd like to say not only the government. Who is the government? We are all part of the government. So it means everybody who has the ability to input towards the development of these youth enterprises should make an effort and input in it, because as our organization in Alternatives Mewinawe Youth Circle, that's where we focus, supporting youth, young entrepreneurs in a way that we can see how to accelerate their businesses, especially in areas of helping them define ways of financing these businesses.
Okay.
Yes.
You are in social and economic development, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, so you've mentioned a very strong point here about the government not just being the political body, but also something to do with we are the government. So it's not just about the politicians, it's also about us. Would you like to define what you mean by that? Because most people want to enter into businesses expecting funds.
Okay. As we always believe that the effort is by everyone. We define where the challenges are for our people, for who we are in the society. Then we pass them on to the government and say, these are our challenges.
All right. Okay. If I will come to you now, John, tell us, does the government need to enter into small and these SMEs?
Yes, the government needs to support these small, medium enterprises, and also the other small, the ones Kate mentioned about the medium, small business enterprises, of which it will bring more employment to the people. People first will not always look at formal employment. Those small businesses, that's what grows, and they can be able to employ other people in them. So the government should finance if it's possible, and also give a level platform for all people to engage in the SMEs. Yeah.
All right. Now, when you talk about banking, if I would get into this sector, according to the bankers' creditors, a good number of SMEs hardly keep records of their businesses. And these are factors that affect them even if it comes to getting credits. So how do you think we can be able to solve such an amount of problem where SMEs cannot be trusted even with loans?
Most would like to throw the back at the SMEs, the micro small enterprises. But upcoming youth, that's why they're known as young entrepreneurs or young business people. Majority of them do not have this knowledge. They do not have the know-how of going about getting to be credit worthy. So we have to start from somewhere. They don't have the right systems, they don't have the right processes, they don't have the right structures to enable them to be credit worthy. And that is not their fault. It's because that information has not reached them. As an organization, we endeavor to get youth out. We call them informal. When you don't have these system structures and processes, they're actually inhibitors for you to even access the commercial financial institutions. So we try very much, as much as possible, being an accelerator for youth businesses, get into their systems, see how their businesses are functioning, then try to put in the little nitty-gritty details that are needed to make their business formal. Because we'd first start and ask, are these businesses formal? Very few of them are formal.
So we have an aspect of the owners of these businesses starting things that are not even having a good foundation, right?
They will start. We encourage them to start, but now we have to move to the next level because we've already set the ground. There's a lot of work that has been put in place, encouraging youth to start businesses.
Right.
But what is the next level?
Right.
Yes, we have started. We'd give the advantage is to those who have already maybe gotten some level of higher education that has informed them this is what you need in your business. But you'll remember, majority of these doing the informal sector have not reached that level of tertiary education.
What do you say?
Okay, as for me, I will say information, it's now decentralized. You don't have to go to one place so that you can learn how can I pay my loans, how can I, as in information is so much there. But I guess at some point, people become a little lazy to get the information because they want everything brought to their table, and that cannot happen. The government, financial institutions, and other players in that field, they have the information ready. It's for you to go to take a step and go get information, study about it. If you have questions, ask, and that I'm sure can solve a lot of problems.
And that counter-attacks what you had previously said earlier, that you said information is decentralized.
Yeah.
Information is there, people just lack it. So how would you address that kind of a situation where people don't know how to handle these things yet the information is there? We have the internet that is there.
Well, how many of them have access to the internet, as you say? Probably the ones in the urban areas, yes?
Right.
Those in the rural areas, who form the majority? 70% of the population of the youth. Do they all have this access to Wi-Fi, bundles, these ideas you talk about? He's right, there are those who have the information and are not willing to go out there. But are they the majority? The majority lie in the place of lack of information. The majority lie in the place of, I have the information, just a tiny bit, but how much of it do I have for it to be useful to me?
Coming back to you, John, there's an interesting, how can SMEs get credit trust from the organizations, even banks?
First of all, managing of data. Data is very important and vital to every business. If you don't have perfect data, if you don't keep your records well, trust you me, no financial institution will be willing to finance your business or something like
Which
that.
is a problem.
Yeah,
Because
and that's a big problem.
Most SMEs don't have good record keeping skills. But how do you think, apart from what you said, is there any other thing that you can give, any tip?
Yes, he's said it very well, that the systems, they don't have the good records.
All right.
So some of them don't have the records because they don't know how to do the records. Who does the records for them? Are there people out there to train them on how to do those records? We've been out there, and we first started with information is out there. But I would say for those that have started businesses and already in a platform, good record keeping would be a good thing, but also a good credit rating would also be good for you to be able to access finance. That is for those that have already formalized their businesses.
Right. 22162 is our SMS line. 22162 is our number. Start with the word Y News. Tell us what you think about this topic, about this discussion. How do you think that financing SMEs could help resolve the state of unemployment in the country? How do you think the state of unemployment can be solved by helping to finance these SMEs? Starting with the word Y News, send your comment and your opinions to 22162. Remember, we are on social media at Y254 Ram and Google the hashtag Y254 updates. Our time is almost up, but let us just tackle a few more questions because I have a lot that we can really handle. But just to mention just but a few, SMEs have other competitors. Is there any possibility that these small scale enterprises and businesses can benefit from the large scale ones?
Yes, there are many ways they can benefit. First, you can read like most big businesses started very small, and that is something that can be copied by the SMEs, because you can dream big, but you have to start small. Yeah.
Right. You can dream big, but you have to start small.
Yeah.
Strong point there. How can the SMEs benefit from the large scale enterprises?
I'd say the large scale enterprises, they're those who are already benefiting from it. They're those that have already patronized.
The SMEs?
No. I'm saying ahead, before the micro small enterprises, we'll have to understand that they're those that have already patronized the opportunities with the corporate companies, the big organizations you're talking about.
Right.
So for them is, you have to go out there and find out what is it that these other companies that are patronizing these services, what is it that they're gaining from these organizations. So you go out there, find out. But also, you go out there and seek information on what is available with these other companies that can benefit your organization, because opportunity won't come to you where you're seated, but you have to seek opportunities. And we've learned this by creating platforms for youth to network with businesses. We've learned that once you expose them to these opportunities, they're able to interact with these organizations and even understand what you're saying, that this organization started from a small place. So these organizations actually model for them, become role models. If you're in manufacturing, if you're in agribusiness, whichever segment you are, you choose a company that you think you want to mirror. But by creating these platforms for them, we've been able to see them interact with such organizations. Yes.
Now, you in Kenya only, these kind of small micro scale enterprises, they employ 90% of Kenyans. And these are according to statistics, which then contributes to 25% of the country's gross domestic product. Now, you've mentioned something about training. You are the head of an organization. Tell us about the organization that you're heading and whether it is part of the training that can be put, that people can go to.
I'm actually the chairperson of Alternatives Mimi Nawewe Sacco. We've created an affordable ecosystem that we say it's a one-stop support to accelerate a young entrepreneurs or a young business towards the level that they can be able to interact with these organizations you're talking about, and also interact with the commercial financial institutions. What is this affordable ecosystem? The affordable ecosystem is affordable business development services, affordable access to finance, affordable market linkages, market and networks.
Right.
So we believe when we put you in that ecosystem, your business should be able to thrive, grow to a level of sustainability, and eventually maybe transition out to other bigger entities. But at this point, this is the ecosystem we've created to support young entrepreneurs. Then on another note, I always say, if we want to support the youth, as you say, in micro, small enterprises, we always say in our organization, stop looking at youth as burdens, as a problem to be solved. This mass population of youth should be looked as a resource. Once you start looking at them as a resource, as financial institution, you'll start creating de-risking model. You'll start creating models that make that de-risk them.
Okay.
Yes.
If because our time is up, let's just have a final word. If I would start with you, John, do you have any advice that you would give to these small-scale enterprises? What solutions can they have in order for them to have productive businesses that thrive?
Okay. First of all, data. Kindly place your data, put your data, back up your data. that will go a long way. Second,
Right.
try to get as much information as you can from big companies, financial institutions. That will go a long way.
All right. Thank you. Final word in just 30 seconds. How would you advise the small-scale businesses so that they can thrive in this country?
Be aggressive,
Mm-hmm.
because nothing comes on a silver platter.
Okay.
You have to fight for it. Be aggressive and find out information. Do not complain.
Wonderful.
Yes.
That is a very big thank you to you for coming to Y254. That is Lucy Mbaye and John Maruta, who have joined us in studio. We are talking about SMEs, that is the small and medium-sized enterprises. We are asking the question, do you think that financing the SMEs could help resolve the mass unemployment of youth in the country? 22162 is still our number on SMS line 22162, starting with the word Y News. I would like to wind up the show, the news bulletin for tonight, and say thank you for tuning in. A big thanks to each and every person that ensured today's bulletin was a success. As for me, I would like to say have a good night and may God bless. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and social media platforms, every platform that you get at Y254 and at RAM at Google. Keep the hashtag going at Y254 updates. God bless you. Have a good night.